viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another video. People, in today's video, we want to discuss the SASSA issue. How these people managed to get away with 255 million rand. Damn. The people that we entrust with the money for our pensioners and our vulnerable are the very people that are enriching themselves with holidays and luxury vehicles and luxury homes. Big one, eh? Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Holler. People, picture this, right? It starts with two Stellenbosch University students. And the funny thing is this, they were not actually digging for any criminal, any fishy, nothing. They were just doing, I think, data research. They just wanted to do data on demographics, population, the pensioners, and their study and their investigation actually led to something even bigger and deeper. Now check this out, right? Now listen to this. So Stellenbosch University students, they decided they're going to use, I don't know, SASSA, I think, right? Like the pensioners. So SASSA as the study board, right? They were going to do this, wanting to see how many people are on grants and whether the demographics and the amounts being paid out correspond, right? And then they went by year. I think they started by 2006, if I'm not mistaken. And then they decided it didn't add up. Then they decided to go further back, right? And they saw that it didn't add up. Then they asked their fellow students if they were receiving grants. Excuse me. And the students said no, they were not. But when these students dug deeper, they realized that either these students were lying or something sinister was going on behind the scenes. Now, the SASSA officials were clever enough not to take money from actual pensioners, because then pensioners would have complained immediately, right? They would have known that, okay, if we steal pensioners' money, right, the pensioners not going to get their money at the end of the month or at this period where the pensioner is supposed to get money, and then their gig would be up, right? So what did they do? They went for young people, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, anybody under the age of pensioners. Anyone with an ID that was not on pension was a victim, was a potential target. You and I could have been targets. So what seemed to be a simple case of just taking money away from pensioners was not exactly that. What this turned out to be was identity theft. So how did these people get caught? Well, it all started in Soweto. ShopRite in Soweto. Dude, that was a big thing. Yeah, dude. ShopRite in Soweto. Damn. That was big. That's two women. Each woman had about 100 cards on them, I think. SASSA cards, right? And these cards were not for pensioners. These cards were manufactured with the identities of normal working and or unemployed people. And they had about 150 of these cards. So what they were doing is they were going into ShopRite, going into at the ATM, and they were going one after the other, one after the other. Just the two of them. They're going in and out to the ATM. And then it became suspicious. So greed is what led to this. Because on that specific day, at that specific ATM, those two ladies managed to withdraw 40,000 rand. Unbeknownst to those two ladies, a ShopRite employee, I think it was a cashier or a toll packer, noticed that these two women just kept going in and out, in and out, in and out to the ATM. And then she alerted the manager, the manager alerted the police, and the police came in quietly, and those women were arrested. Those women, obviously, women fold easily because they don't want to be embarrassed and, very shameful. So they ratted out their fellow colleague who was sitting in a vehicle who happened to be Ethiopian. Now, how? Just like how, guys, just how does an Ethiopian get access to SASSA cards, a foreign national? How does he get the data? So the investigation goes deeper and deeper, and they uncover that it's not only these three that were caught, it's actually a manager at the Department of Social Grants and his wife that were also in it. And then as the investigation goes deeper, then they found out that it was almost an entire department that was involved. Almost. Like a lot more people that work in the department that were in on the scam. Now, people, I am all for making extra money. I'm all for that. Extra money, but do I do I want to make extra money at the cost of other people suffering? No. I really want to make an honest living, right? But if I can't make an honest living, then I'd rather not make the living at all, right? At least that's the way I think. That's the way I feel. If I'm going to steal, if I'm going to steal, I gotta steal in such a way that it does not affect the next person's life. Do you understand what I'm saying? I cannot steal in such a way that it immediately affects your life. Why would I want to steal your identity just so that I can enrich myself? If I really want to enrich myself, I need to find ways and means to enrich myself. There's the internet now. You can sell clothing, you can sell handcrafts, you can sell your skills, you can sell your knowledge, you can sell anything, you can become a consultant, you can become a coach, you can become anything, right? On the side, on top of the job that you have, right? But these people didn't see it that way. They saw an opportunity to steal people's identities and then go on a SASSA spree of withdrawing money at ATMs. Now, the amount is what's shocking because 255 million rand is obviously not in a short span of time. So it's definitely not a week, a month, a year. This has this had got to be years in the making, right? This begs the question: measures does government have in improving the systems that were set in place by the apartheid regime 30 years later? And you telling me that we still have apartheid safety measures in place that were pre-internet, pre-AI, blockchain, pre all these things, and we're still using those systems to try and safeguard current systems. Man, guys, come on, come on, come on. So let's be real, right? Let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be accountable. Let's call out. Let's name and shame. Let's help build our country. I mean, we cannot be building if we are looting and stealing. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, this country belongs to everyone. Everyone who lives in it. Everyone who contributes to the growth of this country. It's unfair that there are people who work hard every day, difficult jobs, just to provide for their families, to put food on the table, and people that are trying their best to make sure that our economy stays afloat, right? They are dedicated people who are lowly paid, people who are just given enough money to go home, pay their rents, buy some food, and some transport money just to get back to work again. They don't have access to stealing great sums of cash like others do. And those people are not even in the business of trying to wreck the country. And yet they should be the ones who are in the business of trying to break the country down because they're earning peanuts, right? But you get these government officials who earn far more than the average South African. They even have benefits. But still, for some shocking reason, you people that steal, right, think that it's okay. And it's not even okay at all. Because there are people who are trying to build and they can't build because people are out here destroying what other people are trying to build. So how is that fair? And how is that nice? Same goes for the people that are sending cash offshore. I understand companies are divesting. I understand that economy is not going good and people want to leave and go to better. I totally get that, guy. I totally understand that. You know what I mean? But when you are taking money out of the mouths of the people who need it most, do you not have any shame in yourself? So, solutions. What can the government do to protect the vulnerable, to protect public funds? I always say blockchain technology. The government needs to be transparent with their monies. So, the Treasury, SARS, and all the whole financial cluster, they need to come up with a blockchain technology, even if they have to use AI to track government spending, to track movement of cash from department to department. That is the only way that we can track this government spending because there's no way that we are losing monies, millions, if not even billions, guys, and it's unaccounted for. This is totally insanity. This is total insanity. Because at the one point, on the one side, we have government officials, ministers stealing money or misusing funds, unaccounted for. And then we have government employees, civil servants stealing. Guys, come on, that's a lot of money that's going. And then we're going to turn around and say, no, but there's no money. No, there is money, but it's been stolen or it's been misused. And that needs to come to an end. How are we going to repair infrastructure? How are we going to build infrastructure if we misuse and steal the very funds that are needed to build or repair the infrastructure that the country needs most? We need clinics, we need houses, we need schools, we need various, we need roads, we need a whole lot of things, guys. We need stuff, and all that costs money. So if we're going to steal and misuse funds, we cannot grow. Look at the difference, right? China is probably now the world's most developed country. China is beyond first world now. America is first world. China is beyond first world. If you look at America's decaying infrastructure and America's decaying, whatever you want to call it, crumbling economy, compare that to China. Yes, I know China has very strict policies. China has human rights issues. China has this. But if you come to look at it, if having human rights issues, if having strict laws and strict policies, if that means that's what it takes to build and grow a country into super status, but I can't say first world because first world is now, China has now surpassed first world status. So whatever China is now, super mega status, for us to get to super mega status, it means we need to work together and we need to build together. We need to be on board, one mindset, one goal, one unity, one people with one vision. That is what I'm saying. So if we cannot do that, then we are definitely not going to build anything concrete that we're supposed to be building. That's my take for the day. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about this video, right? Was I on the money or did I totally miss it with this one? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Holla.